Our guest today is Sandra Brothers. Sandra has been living in one of our cottages the past 10.5 years, but has recently moved to independent living in Epworth. You know her as chairman of our activities committee and a bundle of energy. Sandra, tell us about you. Sandra, how do you like living over here?
Well, I am very fortunate, I think, to have lived in the cottage and now to be upstairs, third floor, independent living, and I have a great view. And I have to say, the 10.5 years here at Epworth Villa have been more than I could ever have hoped for. All positive. Every day.
Wonderful. I
have no negative feelings about anything.
Good for you. That's quite a comment, quite
Well,
a compliment.
I just feel fortunate, truly, to have had the opportunity to be here and become part of the community, involved in activities, getting to know people. It just allows you to move through your different stages of life in a very positive, comfortable setting, and just overall meaningful in what and how you function every day.
Good. Well, tell us about you.
Well, I grew up in a very small town in Oklahoma, Wilson, down by Ardmore. I have one brother. He lives in Arizona. And other than that, then I really don't have much in the way of that early beginning. It was all positive. When I graduated from high school, I then attended OU, and at that time I really didn't even know for sure what I wanted to do, but I ended up becoming an elementary teacher. And I then was able to get a teaching position in Oklahoma City, taught in Oklahoma City, and then decided I probably needed a master's. So I got a master's degree from OU in guidance and counseling. And as soon as I finished that program and was certified, the Oklahoma City Schools was beginning a new program, elementary counseling. So I was one of the very first elementary counselors in Oklahoma City. So I taught in Oklahoma City for about 16 years, and then made a change and came to Edmond. And in Edmond, I started as an elementary counselor for a year, and then I became an elementary principal for a year, and then I became a middle school principal. And at that time, I was really surprised when they asked me to apply for the middle school, because I'd only done the principalship for 1 year, but I had a counselor who came to me and said, we really want you to apply, and we're going to help you. If you need any help, we're going to be there. So I thought, what more, could anyone ask? So I did. I applied and became the principal at Sequoia Middle School. And at that time, it was like 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. and it was located where Edmond North is located now. That was Sequoia Middle School. And after the first year, superintendent came out and he said, you know, we really need this site for a high school because it has a lot of ground. And so for a high school, we need places for athletic fields and that kind of thing. So we want to build a new school for you and move you up the street. And so I said, well, all right, you know, we'll do that. So what else would one say? So anyway, we started the process, getting the faculty, the parents, the students, all of those people kind of prepared for actually making this jump from one location to another. So construction started on the school, and while it was underway, the school was built with these concrete slabs that they tilt up and make a wall. One of those slabs fell and killed one of the workers, and as a result, the construction stopped. And after a while, it was like, so are we still going to be moving? The teachers and the students and all were asking. So the superintendent came out and he said, oh yes, you keep going and planning and make the move. So at that point, I thought, you know, this is going to be a challenge because the school's not going to be complete. All they were able to get completed once the construction started, they were able to complete all of the classrooms for 6th grade, and the cafeteria and the office and library and the gym. So what we did, we put 6th grade in their classrooms, we put 8th grade in the gyms and the locker rooms, and the 7th grade, we brought them in to the cafeteria, loaded them on a bus, took them across town to the mid-high, and brought them back. What we did, we developed a curriculum that they taught on the bus, going and coming, and that satisfied that requirement. But then I'm looking around and I'm thinking, well, you know, these other ladies are getting their doctorate, and maybe people will think I can't do that. So I went home one day and I told John, I said, you know, I've made up my mind. I have about this much time that I can go to OSU, I can get my doctorate done, and it'll all work. So that's what I did. And during that time, then we were planning the move, and we got moved into the new school, and at that same time, I finished up my doctor's degree.
Right.
So anyway, those are things that I think back on it, and you think, how did you make time? But you know, you just do the things that kind of are important. So anyway, that's pretty much what I did in the Edmond schools. And after kind of getting into the new school and everything was going kind of smoothly, then I thought, you know, I've really done pretty much all I need to do here. So I applied and took a position at UCO. And at UCO, I was on the graduate faculty and taught school administration. And at the same time, I was also placing all of the students who were going to do student teaching. And at that time, we had about, each semester, about 300 students doing student teaching out in all of the schools in this central Oklahoma City area. So I took care of that. And then I also served on some national accreditation committees that went from different states to look at programs that were being accredited for schools, for teaching, for administration, and that kind of thing. So that was pretty much my responsibilities at UCO. And during that time, then I spent about 6 years. I decided that it was probably about time to wrap it up, and at the kind of December, at the end of the semester, I turned in my resignation and we moved to Texas. John and I had built a home, and at the time we built that home in Edmond. We built it thinking that this is going to be where we die, you know, and this is it. But we went to Sun City in Georgetown, Texas. We built a home there, and it was great. We thoroughly enjoyed the activities, the people, everything. But after probably about 6 years, it started getting a little crowded. So then we moved to Temple, and we built another house on the golf course there. And that was great. We loved it. But then after being about 10 years in Texas, then we decided, you know, it's probably time for us to go back to Oklahoma. So we sold the home, we downsized, we came back, and we really didn't know for sure where we wanted to go. So we went to Copper Lake, and you could just live there month to month. And after about a year, then we knew that where we needed to be was Epworth Villa. And we came over, they showed us the cottage, and it was like, yes, this is what we want, and we signed up, and so here we are. And it was just the best thing that we could ever have done. No regrets in any way.
That is so good. What about some hobbies? Don't you have a hobby?
Well, you know, I do. I do watercolor. I play mahjong. I have volunteered. And of course, you know, we'd only been here, I think, 6 months. And I was approached to serve on the, at that time it was called the Gratuity Committee. And I had no idea what it was. But that's kind of got me started. So I have served in that capacity for a couple of years, and then from there I've been on the resident council in every position except treasurer. I'll never be treasurer.
Uh-oh.
And now it's the Children's Christmas Party that I'm working on. Mm-hmm. So those are all things that I enjoy and have been involved in.
Oh, and you've had a wonderfully productive life.
I think so. I have no complaints.
That's so good. And thanks so much for sharing it with us.
Thank you.
We sure appreciate it.
Thank you.
Sandra, thanks so much. You did such a great job. It was a wonderful interview. Thank you. Our guest today is Sandra Brown. Off to a wonderful start.
Got that out of the way. That's okay, I'll just clean it up and post it.
Okay, fix.
Okay, start again.
I was thinking of reading one of her books a while ago. I'm sorry.